What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games B.S., part of Den Media Group, presented by MFTKFoundation.com. MFTKFoundation.com is a go-to website for all different things MFTK related. As we move forward through 2026, we've had a pretty big, pretty expensive, pretty fast-paced year. Just continue to try to grow the brand and different things of that nature. And as the world goes down in the trajectory that is looking like going, you're going to probably need to see more foundations and more things pop up so that you can give or you can get robbed. Two ways to look at it. I'd rather try to create the space in which I'm in to where where I could be adequately, people have adequate provisions outside of just trying to, and adequately trained outside of just trying all the other different things. So, cool things happened this past weekend. Hopefully everybody celebrated their mothers on Mother's Day. I have a policy, and I didn't realize that this policy was controversial. And Jaden, I guess anybody else too. I have only, for the most part, I typically only tell two people Happy Mother's Day. I've been like that. Like if I call you on the phone, it's more like maybe a greeting. I'll tell somebody like, "Hey, Happy Mother's Day," right? But like, as far as like really going out of my way, I only tell my lineage Happy Mother's Day. I do the same thing for Father's Day. Actually, you know how many, actually, funny joke, you know how many people I tell Happy Father's Day? You know why I tell 0 people Happy Father's Day? I didn't grow up with a father. I will tell, but I do teach my sons, hey, they got to go through their lineage. Like I make sure, and tell my daughter when she was little, you tell your mother Happy Mother's Day. We didn't get a gift this time because she couldn't receive it, really. Also, Trey been bugging, whatever. I got to work on him a little bit. But like, they may call your mother now, because without her mother, you wouldn't have a mother. We need to call our grandmothers. If the great-grandmother was still alive, they would talk to their great-grandmothers for Happy Mother's Day. That's a cool thing to do that. So, but I make sure, and I don't get enough credit for making sure. I damn near break my neck to make sure that these kids tell these women shit. Because you know what doesn't happen on Father's Day? Trey went a whole day. I think he told me at like 9:30 p.m. last year. Oh, yeah, Happy Father's Day. I done took him to a football camp. I done took him to all these different things, spent money on him. He was like, oh, Happy Father's Day. You think somebody called and said, hey, wish your dad Happy Father's Day? But you know what? I didn't cry. Didn't get up, make no Facebook memes. Didn't make no posts. Just said, hey, I don't need you to tell me that. That's my job to be your father. But I tell my mother, and this was the first time that my grandmother instilled in me. We wrote cards and you call people. I'm talking about, dog, when I was in a full-blown panic Saturday about 2 p.m. because I forgot to send my grandmother a card. No, Reg, my bad. For those who don't, I've done shows without the hoodie on, right? I think so. Like, bro, like where you been at, dog? Like the dreads the locks are gone. The locks are gone. Now I'm full blown Spanish. I know me no black, me Dominican, poppy, me Dominican. But I just like, so I hope all of y'all spent a great amount of time with your mothers, and and big up to your moms for all of those different things. But like, hey, a lot of people get like, my mom, like, I was transparent, like my family like legit got mad at me because I didn't wish my mom had to beg. I did it because I didn't feel like having an argument, even though it's against my policy. But like, you didn't tell your sister. Your sister's mad at you because you didn't tell her Happy Mother's Day. She's not my mother. I don't understand. Like, I came out of your vagina, not out of hers. Like, as a matter of fact, I was here well before she even had a vagina. And I'll make sure now down the road when a little niglet can talk, I will make sure my nephew has adequate provisions to be able to supply his mother with a proper Mother's Day gift. But if you're looking for that from me, that's not my job. It's not my job. It's not my responsibility. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But, if you guys have different policies for Mother's Day, cool for y'all. Jaden, what did you do for your mom for Mother's Day?
Got her some flowers, some gifts, a little gift bag, a card. Went to church. Went out to eat. Went grocery shopping a little bit, and then saw my grandparents, saw my grandma.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Cherish that while you got it, man. Like, grandmas are so cool. That's cool. Your mom was on the news.
Yeah, she was in your city, in your hood, James, in the kitchen, in the
On
yeah,
First Coast?
First Coast. Yeah, she was in the kitchen. Yeah, she was there on
Whipping up
Saturday.
that rock, that re-rock.
Yep.
that Mo Better Brittle.
Yep. So yeah, it was great. She got some orders from that day already, from the showing on the news. So keep growing it. Yeah, James, we're gonna get you some more samples and everything. We try new flavors and everything. So we're gonna make sure to push this rock out here, man, because for sure.
It's so funny. It's not that it's definitely not how crack is made, but meth, maybe similar. Like, as you're spreading it out right over a pan, like, isn't that how? I don't know I don't want to give out trade secrets, but I know they got to put the brittle out there, put the mixture on the pan or something, and then you got to break it up, and you get like little shards.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you pretty much melt it however you melt it, and then you put it on a pan, and it spreads out, and then you have it cool off, and then you just break it with your hands. So yeah, kind of similar. Yeah, like you said, kind of similar.
Good stuff, man. I'm happy that. Glad you. Yeah, Miles, please tell me you called your mom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, because I had to bet. I was like, Trey, did you call Twinkle Trey? And he was like, yeah. I was like, are you sure? I was like, I need to make sure. And I had to tell Kai, make sure, but them, like, actually, it ain't even Kai. Trey just not do it. Like, this level of not giving a fuck almost got his ass locked out the house the other day. But yeah, so Reggie, I do right there, my godson's father, fuck you, by the way. And I do not have a Stephen A. Smith. I have a big ass forehead that was there with dreads. But I have plenty of hair. My hairline has been the same since I was birthed. So I do not have a dibby. But yes, I definitely got that thing texture. Oh yeah, I went out to my dog. Shout out to my dog Benji Brown. Benji Brown had a comedy concert this weekend. I wanted to go see. I didn't think I was going to be here because, for those who don't know, the reason why we weren't able to do the show was because I was traveling. Naples, Florida is nowhere near anything. It's a 6-hour boring ass drive. And for whatever reason, my dog Tom West, the lacrosse coach at Bowles, we take a full fucking day to go anywhere. It could be a 2-hour trip. We're going to leave the day before, and we're going to take all day. And I was just tired from traveling, so we couldn't do Wednesday. We lost Thursday. Didn't want to leave, so I couldn't make Mother's Day plans. I would have come home to go see my mama because I kind of want to see my mama. But we October London was in town on Sunday, and for those who don't know, that's basically Marvin Gaye. Like, if y'all go, he got this song called "Take Me to Your Place." Take me. Wait a minute. Yeah, your place of residence or something like that. Like, the motherfucker sound just like Marvin Gaye. And then and the reason why I'm feeling light skinned and shea buttery, Eric Benet was going to be on that show. Eric Benet is the dude who famously is a good ass R&B singer, but famously cheated on Halle Berry. So that lets you know that, if everybody cheats, never mind. I ain't gonna get into that, but like it's something wrong internally. There's something wrong with Halle Berry. But that was Sunday. But my boy Benji hit me up, so I went to go see his concert, his comedy show. It was cool, and I wanted to step out. And as Reggie so eloquently pointed, I got the nice luxurious locks that I really don't know what the fuck to do with. This is just wet. Just woke up, put a little water on it, and boom, it just does something. But I realized that my 12U football team is all fucking ops, including my son. Trey got big hair. Jason got big hair. Like, now Trey is a mixed breed, but not a mixed breed like these other mixed breeds. Trey is, Miles and his mom, you would never know that they were Spanish or Hispanic. They just look black. I've learned a lot of the Panamanians, you can get everything that you want. They got aunts that I don't understand what the fuck they're saying because they speak real Spanish and very fast. The dad sounds like a Spanish Jamaican. But like they just look black. But Trey is half Spanish, half Hispanic, half black. Jason is mixed. Jason mama white, and clearly his daddy's black. But Jason got hair. Now, and then Carlos, kind of tells you, right? Nothing else needs to be said about Los. But Los is mixed, is black, and one of them is, I think, Puerto Ricans or one of them shits. They all got luxurious. Like, I have seen them compete for 3 hours, and their hair still be big, still be right where it needs to be at. Now I've been around them little bastards for 3 weeks. Not one of them bastards said, "Hey, coach, you need to go. Hey, man, go buy this product right here, coach. This is what I do, coach. This is my regimen right here." Like, they just let me go. I went outside, had the chest out, trying to look good. Hair couldn't do nothing because it was raining. Just like looking crazy, looking wild. And I'm like, damn, dog. Ain't got nobody help, man. Nobody helped me, dog. So fuck the MFTK. That was my MFTK moments from this weekend. But outside of that, we're gonna start this show off the same way we start each and every show off with a word of prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great. All the time. All the time. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Go.
All right, Jaden, what we talking about?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another morning edition of Big Games B.S. here on Monday, May 11th. This is your first time at the show. Welcome. And if you're wondering why it's called Big Games B.S., it's because we bring the good, the bad, and the BS of the sports world, especially football, to your screens, eyes, and ears. Got a lot of topics to get through on a wide variety of ideas. First, starting with our MFTK segment, got some announcements to make before we get into our college football segment. FSU has been in the sports media news as of late with a lot of different factors at play regarding the Seminole football program. And we got some bad news to report on from another Tallahassee school and from another Tallahassee football program. And we got some news about NIL position valuations and some more numbers and thoughts before we get into the NFL. Schedules will come out this week on May 14th. So a lot of teams are just prepping for that. But through this time, we have some new free agent signings as well. We're going to take a dive into as well before getting into some player news and our big Games BS section, where we come out of the sports world a little bit. We have our BS or Bust and Food review segment, but we have a basketball topic for our YN Wyland segment from last night, if you watched that Timberwolves game. But before we get into the show, let's kick off this with some announcements. First, with the MFTK golf tournament, the inaugural golf tournament.
Still looking for golfers. Still trying to push that. We're about a little bit under a month out, 4 weeks away. If anybody wants to come to Jacksonville, hang out, we're gonna start doing more promotion, announcing the different celebrities that'll be in attendance at the golf tournament. But this could be a good shot in the arm to be able to fundraise for the 2027 events of MFTK, and even finishing out the year strong, basically with our book bag drive as well as our tackle football team. So if you're June 8th, King of the Bears, great golf course. Looking forward to people coming out and checking us out. Oh, and now here's the big one right here. And we have the MFTK Spartan, excuse me. Yes. We're going to be doing our high school 7-on-7 tournament. It's $500 with a cash prize of $10,000 if you win. So we have Creekside High School out of Georgia, Gainesville High School tentatively, Mandarin St. Augustine High School, are the 14 of Florida High School out of Tallahassee, and trying to get some other ones. We're trying to get 16 teams, 8 from Florida, 8 from Georgia. You are guaranteed in bracket play to play 4 Georgia teams, and Georgia teams are guaranteed to play 4. Plantation High School as well out of South Florida. And then in pool play, you're guaranteed to play a team from the other state. In bracket play, it's all the state of Florida, and then for us to have a Florida-Georgia champion head-to-head matchup. The games will be streamed on Den Media Group or Big Games Gridiron. As of right now, we'll have it on two different live streams. Every game will be recorded and uploaded. There are going to be some premier matchups. In fact, I just realized Creekside has a 4-star safety that plays for them. So like, just imagine, so that kid at Bryson Wright will make sure that people know here are key battles, here are matchups. So it'll be commentated by me and Jairus Papa J. White on one, then we'll have somebody doing the other one. But it's gonna be interesting live. We'll have the DJs going, we'll have the music going. But again, if you know a high school team, we're looking for cats to come. We still have spots. We have sent out the initial invites for the RSVP. But if you know some teams that really just like that probably should be in it, you have some connections, please feel free to just shoot that to me. But again, I mean, come out. My goal is to make Mandarin win. Not gonna hold you. I don't want to pay the $10,000 to anybody but Mandarin High School. But it's up to anybody. If you also know how I am, I'm just not one of those type of guys. I'm going to make sure that the best team win. But I'll put money up on my dogs. So, good competition. It'll be open to the public. We're going to try to make it as affordable as possible. So we want a lot of people to be able to come check it out and enjoy themselves. There'll be food vendors. There'll be all kinds of different stuff, all kinds of great competition. It shouldn't cost you. I think parking is going to be like $5, and I think admission will be like $10 and $5. $10 for adults, $5 for kids. So if you've been to any kind of AAU tournament, like any other shit, like that shit is way more expensive than that. You're talking about $50 weekend passes. So like, this is going to be one of those things, and there's going to be tons of studs. Hey, just even Florida High alone has Isaiah Vickers, who's a 4-star DB. You got some other schools so we're going to just open this up to a lot of individuals to be able to come out and check it out.
James, we got a crazy story from a Florida high school head football coach. This NIL landscape is shady, especially in that high school football realm in that area. But we got some news coming from Andy Villamarzo. So, the Palm Beach Post reported last month that a Florida high school football player had paid Hector Clavijo at least $7,000 as part of an NIL contract negotiation. The Palm Beach County School District Office of Inspector General found that Clavijo, quote, exploited his relationship with the student athlete, unquote, and accepted 7,000 with 5,000 coming via bank transfer and 2,000 via Zelle from a student athlete he coached slash taught in exchange for acting as an unlicensed NIL agent negotiator, and he was the head coach at Santa Lucia's. It's around the Palm Beach area of South Florida. All that information courtesy of Yahoo Sports. So
I'm trying to figure out what he did wrong. I'm dead serious. Like, I mean, I'm hearing the like what he did, but how? Like, if so if I do this, which I do this for people. So if I go look over a contract, right, for a kid, and I give the kid guidance, and I tell them, boom, 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 do this right here. I'm not licensed, but like, if the kid wants to compensate me for doing that shit, then that seems like an even exchange, like a fair exchange. That seems like I did something good for the kid, right? Or am I like, or I guess they're trying to say like maybe it was his position, he shouldn't be doing that. But like, shit, that guy made more in one NIL transaction than he made as a head coach. Like, if even forget the $7,000, if it was just the $5,000, that's what the head coaches get paid in Jacksonville, Florida. Like, it's not a lot of money in this shit. Again, y'all have heard me say this when I dealt with the inspector. $1,419.23. Like, if a kid wants to, like, that's what we should be wanting kids to do. To be honest with you, if they were to trust anybody, I'd rather them trust their high school coach, the guy who helped get them there, the guy who, it's called loyalty. But, you know, and if the guy did piggyback off of it, so the fuck what? You know how many rides that guy probably gave that kid when nobody gave him gas money? And there was 5 cars in the driveway where one adult could have gave and got him? You know how many meals that guy probably paid for that jit? You know how many meals that guy paid for other jits and like, or just to be associated with that? For him to get that money, man, that's, I have absolutely no problem with what happened here. So,
sorry about that. I got some more information about why this broke the state law. So, according to FHSAA, aka Florida High School Athletic Association bylaw 9.9, you have this policy right here: no school employee, athletic staff member, or representative of a school's athletic interests, boosters in parentheses, may engage in NIL representation. So that is where they got it.
Well, I guess the gamble was worth it. How do they know? Or how did they find out is the better question for me. But hey, whatever, man. I'm sure that money was well spent.
Yes, for sure. I don't know how the news got out as well, but I know that high school football coach, it definitely is feeling some type of way about this, especially with the NIL news and especially with Florida as a key state in the NIL high school wave, if you will. So a lot of this stuff is in new territory, and we're definitely going to keep you updated on this head coach. Was a head coach down in South Florida. And we're going to stay on the topic of Florida schools, James, especially FSU and beyond. One of the key acronyms we are going to be discussing today, one that you quite frequently mention, is APB. are. So let's get some stats in. FSU football set a program record, with a 993 multi-year APR and our first perfect single year rating last year. So shout out to the Seminoles for having a 993 APR, aka academic progress rate, an NCAA developed metric that tracks academic success, retention, and eligibility of athletes. So shout out to the Seminoles, James. Shout out to the Seminoles.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you make sure you have a spring practice and don't lose. But nobody cares about APR right now. Florida State fans would rather be undefeated and miss bowl games than if these motherfucking kids graduated. They don't give a damn about none of that shit when you suck.
Yep, and I did want to put that on the Summer Jam screen just to put a pin in that conversation. We're going to be coming back to that APR subject in a little bit, but we got to tackle through some FSU news first. And James, a friend of the show, has been going viral this past weekend for a comment he made on Twitter that has been going crazy, man. It has been going crazy. 157.5K views. Man, let's look at what Mr. Crow said, man, about his son. Can some of y'all please stop asking about my son Julian and FSU? This isn't my journey. It's his recruiting process. And let's be real, FSU hasn't talked to my son since they offered him all the way in August of 2025. Even another friend of the show, Mr. Bryant McFadden, 2-time Super Bowl winner, said, huh? But James, FSU fans were in an uproar when Coach Crow put this tweet on the Twitter timeline, and there's a lot of backlash. You can imagine a lot of comments said about Norvell, the program, etc. But James, first of all, man, what do you think about, let's just keep it a buck, FSU allegedly not talking to Julian since they offered him as of August of last year?
I don't know all of this stuff, but I do know this. And I've talked about Julian. Good kid. Great kid. We've had AJ on the show. That's the one that's at Florida State now. I don't know the middle son. I've seen AJ grow up. That's like nephew. And he's getting tall. He's going to be a late bloomer. I really think he would have benefited from staying back one more year. But because he's like me, he got that late. But I think he's born like July 27th or something like that. Or 25th. One of them. He's a Leo. But like, if he would have had a full year at 18, he would be like the same height he is now going into college. And I thought AJ looked like Crow, but he also looked like Aaron, which is kind of scary. I don't know which one he looks like more. Julian is Crow. Like real deal Crow. Like, I was half listening to him talk, and I thought I was talking to Crow. He walked like Crow. He tall like Crow. He fast like Crow. I ain't gonna get into all of the stuff that some of the other shit. He like Crow through and through. He got the confidence of Crow. I don't know what his work. AJ got the one thing AJ got that about Crow that goes really unnoticed. AJ has Crow's work ethic. Like, AJ is so zoom focused on, like, that's how I knew AJ's nephew was gonna be good. Julian is just like, Julian is nice. When we was in Houston, this kid was making plays. I told Ernie personally, like, if he ain't he's a 4-star receiver. He checks all the boxes. He's a legacy. If he's not on the top of y'all wide receiver board, I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing. But I've been saying this for years. There are layups to be had if you just recruit legacies. If nothing else, the fucking legacies are ranked high, some of them. It's going to help with recruiting other people. And on top of that, out of all the motherfuckers that not recruit, is this nigga's sons. You know he going to say something about it. Because people are going to ask him about it. And the one thing my dog is perpetually shown since I've known him, he going to have an opinion. He going to articulate his opinion. And he don't give a fuck what you think. He don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Not one iota of a fuck. Again, one of my favorite things was Jamie Foxx talked about George W. Bush. If Crow doesn't give fucks, if you were hanging off of a cliff and all you needed was one fuck to live, and Crow was walking by with a pocket full of fucks, he'd look at you and say, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. And just walk right by when it comes to giving his opinion, especially when he knows he's right. Especially when he knows it could be easier. And that's the critique. It's not a personal indictment on them. It's just it is a critique of the proof, of the production, of what is there. And the other part of it, he has consistently said this, it is his son's recruitment. If his son wants to go to Florida State, he's going to back it. If his son wants to go anywhere else, he is going to back it. That's what he does. And that's why I think a lot of people get caught up in the clip that we all saw from Hard Knocks where he forgot these motherfuckers' names. And I don't think he forgot their names. It's just like I called Kai Trey all the time. It's just a thing when you try to think of some shit, you just say the first thing to come roll off your tongue. But the man, if you look at him as a father, especially like his girls live with him, his boys didn't. And when you look at him as a father who goes like he's spending quality time with him while he's going through other bullshit that I won't tell you about because it's not my place. But I'm rolling with Crib and I'm rolling with my teammate on this one. But I told y'all how stuff happens. Like I don't get calls about none of my guys. Nobody called me about Julian. But I told them that Julian is good. Because I saw it. It wasn't a favor to Crow. It was I seen the motherfucker in action. And I seen Crow. Crow was a top 20 pick having played one fucking football season at Florida State. Excuse me, 1.5. You kind of like got to go with the guy and be like, yo, that's, this motherfucker's guy. If that's what we're looking at. And on top of that, if he got the mutant gene like Crow, man, Crow tore his ACL in July, the end of July, damn near August. This bitch was ready to play in November. Like, could have legitimately played against Clemson. Like, that's before advances in technology, any of that shit, dog. And then ran a fucking 4.4 at the combine, less than a year out. But hey, man, like I told you, when it's time for Trey to get recruited, they're gonna call my dog Bernie. They're not gonna call me. Like, and I know all of them. Like, shit, there's no excuse. Nobody can say they couldn't get in contact with Crow. G. Ross played with us. Devin from the South Side, and that's where Crow from. I coached them. And they know my numbers if they can't get a hold of him. Ernie played with him in high school and in college. But if you're not recruiting his son because of the outspokenness of the father who critiques the program that he bled, sweat, and cried as a member of, but grew up in the city when it was on point, then we got bigger issues. That's a pride thing. But that should have been That should have been a layup, just like Eric Thomas's son should have been a layup as an offensive lineman, just like a lot of guys should have been layups. But That's neither here nor there. They recruit who they want to recruit. At the end of the day, I judge the product. If the product on the field changes, then we can't say anything about that. But when the product on the field is consistently below 500, and then the recruitment isn't on par, and you have ways to make the recruitment be on par so that the production can be consistently above 500, I don't understand any of that. But coaches have to coach what they like. Period. That's his toy. They designed the toy the way that they wanted the toy to be. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why we like to play catch up and why we have to consistently do things that don't make any sense. Oh, he coached with Nick Williams. The list goes on.
Well, James, it looks like the FSU and Georgia home and home series isn't going on because they're working toward a neutral site matchup. FSU and Georgia have mutually agreed to cancel the school's home and home series scheduled for 27 and 28. The Seminoles and Bulldogs are now in discussion to play a neutral site matchup soon. Quote, as we consider the effects of evolving scheduling mandates with both the Atlantic Coast Conference and Southeastern Conference, we have mutually agreed that it is in best interest of both schools to cancel our home and home series schedule for 27 and 28. FSU Vice President and Director of Athletics, who we had on the show, Michael Alford, said, quote, we are now discussing playing a future neutral site contest, and we are optimistic we will get that done. Importantly, this change will not reduce the total home games on our schedule moving forward. Florida State opens its 2026 campaign on August 29th at Doak Campbell Stadium against New Mexico. And if I'm not mistaken, James, I think that neutral site would be the Atlanta Superdome, if I'm not mistaken. That's where I see a lot of people kind of guessing about. But what do you think about FSU and Georgia canceling their home and home series for 27 and the 28 season? And what does this mean for the program, Georgia program, our program, both programs, or just college football in general?
Two things that I'm actually shocked. Three things. And one of them confirmed things. Our fans can't read, and people are super lazy. They'll read a headline, but not just boom, click that button right there. We had so many people writing think pieces off of a headline, thinking because it was just FSU and Georgia cancel home and home series. They didn't put that last part there. But I'm like, guys, it was never meant to be a home and home series. When this deal came out, it was on the cusp around the same time as the FSU LSU series was announced. FSU LSU was something that everybody complained about, home and home, but like, I don't know if you realize, Baton Rouge is 45 minutes to an hour away from New Orleans. You have to typically, most people were going to fly into New Orleans, and most of you were going to probably stay in that area because there's more hotels there, and you would commute to Baton Rouge. Orlando is a little bit easier to get to, but like, you don't go to fucking FSU games as it is. So from an FSU perspective of, yeah, we may sell out, but it's going to be a bunch of fucking people from LSU at this game. Why not capitalize and make the most bang for our buck? And the reason why people play neutral site games is because you get a guaranteed check. The check comes, like a lot of these schools don't net, especially when you don't sell out. So you get, and I don't know what the payout is, but it's probably going to be roughly similar to what the LSU game was. You're probably going to get a $5 to $7 million check with bonuses included in this game. Why not take a $5 to $7 million injection to your budget when you're already operating in the red, when you're already having to compete for NIL, when you're already having to do for different things? And on top of that, like, the reason why you can get those guarantees is because the way the business of sport operates. Heads and beds. They already know, the people who are organizing it, we're going to get the tax for hotels. We're going to get that. We're going to get money from other people who want to support it. It's going to be an early game. So we already know it's going to sell out. I can already tell you right now, I will have a tailgate, and I know my tailgate is going to sell out. You know why I know? Orlando had 400 people at the bowl game and had 1,000 people at the LSU game. Same thing fucking for Atlanta for the Superdome, if that's where it's going to be had. But it's supposed to be Tampa at Raymond James Stadium, where they're going to be at. And the Alabama game couldn't. There's nowhere in Alabama to have a neutral site game. So that's why that one didn't work. But Athens is 45 minutes away from, well, let me rephrase that. I just went to Athens. You don't want to go to Athens for real. Like, you really don't want to go to Athens. You're going to stay in Atlanta. And then that drive from Atlanta to fucking Athens is like driving through Little House on the Prairie, Antebellum South. And the way the climate is going right now, I am fucking terrified to make that drive at night. I'm talking about it was winding roads, and it just looked like Dixieland Delight. Everybody talks about how hard it is to get to Tallahassee. Tallahassee at least got 2-lane roads to get to Doak Campbell Stadium. Tennessee Street got 2 lanes on the left, 2 lanes on the right. Like Pensacola Street, 2 lanes to the left, 2 lanes to the right. All these other things got 2 lanes to the left, 2 lanes to the right. Ain't shit like that at Athens, though. But yeah, so like just chill out. Enjoy it. And then Tampa is like the second largest Seminole club outside of Tallahassee. Jacksonville is the largest, I believe. Tampa's the second largest. Great, tons of hotels. All y'all bitch about is, well, Tallahassee's hard to get to, and that's why I don't go to games. And the hotels are so expensive. Well, they put it in a place where it's easier to fly into. It's not hard to get to, and there's a ton of fucking hotels. Same thing in Atlanta, and you still complain. You complain. It's the people who complain that don't go to the games anyway. Like, if you go look at the history of the people who are doing the most complaining, you'll probably say, this is why I don't go to games anyway. Nobody should go to a game until they start winning. Well, this is what happens when you don't go to games. You know why Nebraska don't do a lot of neutral site games? 1, nobody wants to see Nebraska. But 2, Nebraska has been selling out their stadium since before blacks and white people could eat at a lunch counter together. Consistently. You don't like it. You don't want stadium upgrades. You don't want this. Buy season tickets. Simple solution. But I can tell you right now, the season is not sold out. I don't want to hear that shit. All I know is I'm going to find somewhere in Tampa that throw a fucking hellacious tailgate. Because I know for a fact we're doing one tailgate a year. We will have an SMU tailgate, top of lot 19. And we'll go from there after that. But we're definitely going to have that. But just, support the program, and none of this shit matters. Or don't. And then just use your thumbs and complain about shit when there's real shit in this world going on that you should actually be complaining about.
We had a comment in the chat that inspired me to pull up this post, but man, James, that logo holds some weight. Let's take a look at the FSU football record comparison between the old logo and the new one. The old Seminole logo, we had a record of 239, 67, and 1, a 78 win percentage. Well, now with the new logo from 2014 to 2025, aka the CFP college football era, we have a record of 89 and 61, a win percentage of 59.3%, James. Whew, man, that new logo, bad juju as of late, man. As of late, bad juju when you take a look at that old one for sure. But had that dominance in the 90s, early 2000s.
You know who the old logo is, right?
No.
So the person who got Florida State bammed when Bobby was there, my sister was involved in this. The academic scandal where they were cheating in music history, music history, world cultures, or something like that. It was a class. That professor also is the person who wrote the fight song. He had been teaching that same class, that same test, since like 1969. It's 4 tests that you take in the semester. The only difference between if the answer was A in 1969, the answer was B in 1970, C in 1971, and D in 1972. And then it's back to A in 1973. They had every test for this class. Now, back in my day, when we were cheating, we had to cheat the way that God intended for you to cheat. We had to study the test, and then we wrote on them little ass note cards and, did our thing. We also had integrity. If you ain't never made an A in your entire fucking life, you weren't going to make an A this time. We're going to make sure you made a B. Like, don't go out here and try to be an honor roll student when you know that's not your ministry. But then the emergence of the internet came. And then everybody took this class online. And do you know what every athlete that took the class online, do you know what they got? 100s. Every athlete got 100. Some of these motherfuckers can't read. Now, his Gordon Rule requirement for those of us who listen to this, Gordon Rule was a written requirement that you had to have when you were in college to prove that you could write. Now, nowadays, they got rid of those things because, standards only matter. People only worry about standards when there's a colored person that might take the job. When there's somebody else, they don't really care about that, but they care about these standards. But his way to get around the Gordon Rule requirement was you take your notes in class and then you write 5,000 or however many words. I think it was maybe whatever the requirement was. He said, just write that on the top of the paper and hand me something that feels like it should be that many words. And I'm going to give you a requirement. He's like, I have over 1,000 students and I'm old. This is what he said to me in class. Said this in class. I am not reading 1,000, 3,000 word essays. And fair. He says you could give me biology notes. It just better have a couple pages of music history notes on the top of it. And we're good. And so it was already an easy class. But he wrote the fight song, so they made his face the logo. He's also the reason why Bobby lost his wins. And why Bobby is not the all-time winningest coach. So it had to be done. Like we had to, when Jimbo won his natty, right? Jimbo basically pulled a Michael Corleone. The Godfather, where he closed all family debts. And the man died after we won the natty. And now his face is taken off the logo. But the problem is that now we're getting punished with that bullshit. So, but yeah, so that's just a little Florida State history lesson. I know a lot of y'all probably didn't know that, but now you know.
We're going to go across the tracks for a little bit. Hate to report on this. Hate that this even had to happen. But there's 3 SWAC football programs that have been banned from postseason play this season. Those institutions are Alabama A&M. Dang, James. Carson Vincent, man. Shout out Alabama A&M. FAMU and Mississippi Valley State. Each have been hit with the level 2 NCAA APR penalties, making them ineligible for the postseason. And with that as well, FAMU confirmed, we have confirmed, according to Allison Posey, that FAMU will not have their spring practice in 2027. This is in addition to other penalties FAMU confirmed last month as well, James. So across the tracks, it's not going too well in terms of APR, and looks like that FAMU football program will be hurting. Man, no postseason play this season is big. That is definitely tough.
All right, what does that mean? Quinn in his first year could win and eradicate all of this stuff. And it'll just be like an Auburn probation. Like with Auburn, with not Tommy Tuberville, excuse me, with Terry Bowden went 13-0 or 12-0, I believe. But they were on probation, but they won enough games for people to be able to still see that they were on the right track. So they won't be able to play in the SWAC championship, and they won't be able to play in the Celebration Bowl. That's no different than this year. That's no different than the last few years. So, like, you ain't missing much right there. The lack of spring ball, though, they're going to have to find some creative ways to be able to get done what they need to get done. But I do know that FAMU is about to get an investment into their athletic facilities. FAMU has not had anything done to their football offices or stuff like that. No major upgrades since, forever. So like now new coaches' offices, a lot of different things. So they'll spend that time trying to rehab and reface the program. Quinn has to focus on keeping the main thing, winning, because this is not, until things change, HBCUs are not where you're going to go to have a long-term coaching career. It's where you go to be able to get the upgrade so that you can go get the money from everywhere else, because black people refuse to be adaptive and participate in capitalism and like symbolism way more than they like capitalism. And the problem is symbolism don't write no checks. Capitalism does.
We have some big news that a lot of people have been talking about, and man, it looks like a scary, scary change is coming, because we got a flip. So 5-star cornerback Dante Wright has flipped his commitment from Georgia to Miami. He is the number 2 cornerback in the 2027 class. Georgia, known for producing defensive juggernauts on that football field, Kirby Smart and company. So, James, is this a big deal that you have this 5-star defensive prospect transferring from the Bulldogs to the Hurricanes?
It comes at the heels of Kirby making a comment about NIL. And Kobe Wright, Bryson's dad, made a great tweet the other day where he talked about the teams that you think have the money don't. And the teams that you don't think spin. And Miami has done a great job of paying premium for premium, but at the same time, making sure they bring in enough 3 and 4 stars. Excuse me, enough bringing enough 3 stars to be able to balance out a class so that you can have the depth. And maybe there's somebody that could grow out of that. I've said it on this show. It's actually kind of impressive when you sit back and you look at how they have made what their recruitment is just like. And they're not done. And, they put in the work for recruiting, and it's impressive. Like, Mario has a lot of flaws. Fundamentally, Mario Cristobal is not a great coach. He is a hard worker. It's kind of like talent. Hard work trumps talent when talent doesn't work. Mario Cristobal is going to work his ass off relentlessly at the things that are necessary for your coach. So while he might not be the best X's and O's guy, he does know how to build relationships and rapport, and he's going to stick to that. And then they've got a great business model as far as in terms of recruiting. So that's a huge flip. And people can say stars don't matter, and for the most part, they're right. Or not for the most part. There are many things that are right about that. But when a player is consistently considered one of the top guys, that's typically where we have to kind of stop and say we're hating if we don't believe a kid is good. Like, that's a good player.
Speaking of recruiting, transfer offensive tackle Jordan Seaton is believed to have landed a deal with LSU worth more than $4 million, industry sources tell CBS Sports. Seaton's pay package is believed to be the largest for an offensive lineman in college football history. Also heard some rumors that he had real estate clauses and requests in his contract as well. Not too sure how truthful that is, but James, 4 million plus, facts or cap on Jordan Seaton receiving that money from Lane Kiffin and LSU?
I don't know, but here's what I know. It's always salacious when it's a certain type of player. Carson Beck's NIL was written about, but those aren't the stories that get people concerned about NIL, right? Carson's stories were kind of true. Had a Lambo. We saw about Carson's Lambo getting stolen and the G-Wagon, I believe. Carson's house that he rented was crazy. But that's not the stuff where people are like, oh, he's going broke. And I wonder why people didn't write about those things. And I love big Carson Beck fan. 90% of these stories are bullshit, though. Because I could believe, like, if Carson were Jeremiah Smith, people would write about it more. But I would believe that about Carson because of all the other different things going on. $4 million is a lot of money. It's a lot of money in Baton Rouge. If this were happening, then he is the most responsible young man on the planet. Well, because we haven't seen shit. They'll talk to us. You know why they talk to you so confidently about NFL contracts is because it has to be out there. It's facts. We know what a guy signs for in the NFL. And if he doesn't sign for that, we have an idea of what a second round, third round, fourth round grade would get. So we can speak with intelligence. In this NIL landscape, and the reason why there's so many people who are not on board with this, so many people writing bullshit legislation, so many people doing this because they understand dog whistles and dog whistle politics. And these are the reasons why people can't get behind it. And one thing I've learned is those who know don't tell. Those who tell typically don't know. I'll leave you with that. But if a person is writing that, ask them what the source is. And I'll tell you, I can't tell you my source, which tells you that it's probably bullshit. Because at most, a school, the really, really expensive school's budget overall for NIL across the board is about 40 to 50 million across the board. Like, that's the top guys. Just do the math about if they're paying everybody that much money. And you'll see how quick 40 million gets spent really, really quick. Great segue. I had no idea that's what was there. Again, if you're paying, and now all of this is just, this isn't true. We don't know how true this is. We just know that, like, because again, even with Arch, remember when people were saying Arch Manning makes X amount of dollars? But the Manning family came out and said, we're not taking a penny until he becomes a starting quarterback. But I believe that, you know, these are more reasonable sums.
You got Arch making, allegedly, getting $7 million. Got Cam Coleman coming from Auburn, allegedly $2 million. You see that left tackle, James, $3 million allegedly. Take a look at the edges. You got Simmons, $3.25 million, and you take a look at your secondary at those defensive backs. You got safety McDonald. Allegedly making the most with that 1.2 M's, and Biles for your linebacker unit, allegedly making 1.5 M's. Man,
I want people to. So the cool thing about this is this makes people want to stay in college longer. But if you really believe, so an NFL roster, one, that's just the starters. So like you got to have, you're spending more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like you got to pay your backup quarterback, right? You got to pay other guys. if an NFL roster almost is close to, I think, like 400 million for 53 players. 400 million for 53 players. And it's not even distributed like that. If you believe that college players across the board are making more than NFL players, then I got oceanfront, like consistently, not some, consistently. I have oceanfront property in Nebraska to sell you. I got a bridge in Brooklyn that I want to sell you. What happens is when it's easy to, this is called pocket watching. It's easier to spend other people's money and fantasize about other people's reality when your reality sucks.
So, James, it looks like the coaches want some changes, man. The American Football Coaches Association had this to say, according to On3. The new AFCA board has recommended the following: expanded playoff with maximum participation, elimination of conference title games, and ending the college football playoff by mid-January, according to Ross Dellinger.
Well, the playoff already ends in mid-January. It was MLK. It was on MLK, which is mid-January. I hate the elimination. I hate the devaluing of conferences. If you end conference title games, then you just need to end. You need to dead conferences. I think there used to be a nice affinity for being the conference champion. It used to mean something. Now it doesn't. What I do believe though is that they do need to just go ahead and just tell the truth. There are not 138 teams that have an opportunity to win a national championship. There really aren't 40 to 50 teams that have a chance. But let's just say that these 50 teams are the true guys, and then just really divided by regions. And you could just treat it like tournaments. The regular season is pool play. Pool play gets you put into different places, and then you have bracket play after week 12 or whatever. I don't know how many. So what's that get you? 50 to 25. Well, I guess you'd have to probably get a better round number. So maybe like 52. So 52 gets you to 26, but that's still gonna mess up, which gets you to 13, which gets you to whatever the number that gets you an even number to go all the way down, and you play a 5-week tournament. And then that produces you a national champion at the end. That's common sense. You can have your rivalry games, and you can just have people play. You got to play one way. You got to play treat it like the NFL, like the AFC South has to play the NFC West, and just figure those different things out. That's the only way to truly make it fair. If not, just go back to the way it was. It was always. I mean, I love football and watching football, and the game has never been more popular. The only people who are saying these things, and again, these same things were said from every major change that they made to football, from the invention of the forward pass to allowing black and white players to play with each other to bringing cheerleaders. It's always something. This is going to be what makes people not want to watch the game. And unfortunately, the game continues to grow. And this is why we're in the situation we're in.
We are going to close off the college football segment with some words from Ryan Clark. He expressed some thoughts that a lot of other talking heads and figures in the media space have been echoing in terms of the recent geopolitical climate in America, with the redistricting and kind of the gerrymandering, if you will, that's been happening in certain states like Mississippi and Louisiana. And Brian Clark had this to say. Look, I'm going to be real with you. Black college athletes need to stop signing with schools and states that gerrymander districts to block black representation. Ryan Clark, a native of Louisiana, so happened that I mentioned that did play for the LSU Tigers as well. And he did say this on the Pivot podcast. And I know that is a stretch for Ryan Clark to ask a student athlete to not chase the bag, not get the check. And a lot of people will recommend this, James, but a lot of people won't put up the money you'd be missing out on if you were to participate in doing what Ryan Clark said. So I just want to get your thoughts on the situation of Ryan Clark and just what a lot of other people have been saying about sports with this political tie to it as well.
All right. So before I get into that, I like the point. But before we get into that, 13 hours ago, Ryan Clark on his personal social media said, always weird to have to say this. I have made no statement about where college athletes should or shouldn't play. The quote in the graphic using my face and name is fake. It's a lie. I post enough on social. If it's not on my profile, I didn't say it. Lots of cameras around me. There would be a video. So, and I was like, when I first read it, I'm like, that's very, like Ryan Clark will have some controversial statements, but he doesn't have controversial statements like that. Now, what I will say is that as a history major, and this is one of the arguments that I always have when people get into these, the party of Lincoln and these different debates. I'm like, well, the party of Lincoln is really protecting Confederate stuff. It's really doing a lot of the different things that the Confederate, and if you're looking at how stuff kind of is shaping out, they're doing this. And unfortunately for some people, they don't really pay attention to history, good or bad. And what you're probably going to witness in the next 20 to 30 years is exactly what that fake statement said, though. And why do I say that? Is because after the Civil War, America had something that was called the Reconstruction era, which was only for, it was a brief period, where they had to do a 180. And that's where you hear like the 40 acres and a mule. You saw black people could vote, black men could vote, excuse me. So like you started seeing black members in Congress, and honest to God's truth, the reason why we have public school, a lot of people don't realize this, is because of black senators and congressmen who wanted to make sure that the masses were educated. But then shortly after Reconstruction, progress looks like oppression when the world was designed for you. Certain peoples that were starting to feel like the progress was not going fast enough for them and going faster for the oppressed people, ushered in new laws. And in that time period is when blue laws also came about as well. But Jim Crow, like blue laws are like laws that says it's illegal to get head. Did y'all know that? That's on books. Getting your dick sucked could, even in your home, could get you prosecuted. Those are blue laws. Dumbass laws that, just like Jim Crow were dumbass laws. Jim Crow was prevalent for quite some time. So they had to make a switch, right? So then you have the Civil Rights Act, which came in, and it was so bad that we had to do another 180 and do some other different things. And ever since that was passed, they have spent time. It took 10 years for the South to cooperate with just us being able to go to schools together. So to put it in perspective, there's only one I am the second generation of people in my family who have had their full rights as human beings. My mother was the first one. My mother was the first person to go to school. Actually, my bad. I apologize. My mother didn't live her whole life. She was born in 1960. So I am the first person in my family to live as a have full rights as an American citizen. That lets you know how recent it was. Now what we're seeing, though, is the reverse of all of those privileges, including trying to go to the 14th Amendment, which is the reason why which birthright citizenship, which was made an amendment because slaves had to be considered citizens. So they're reversing a lot of those things. And it's very prevalent in the South. But what happened was, when Jim Crow got so bad in the South, they left overt racism to de facto racism. So that's when you saw this thing called mass migration. You saw black people leave the South and head up north. They went to places like Chicago, Columbus, Pittsburgh, New York, Philly, Baltimore. A lot of these west. Now I want you to listen. Now that you got that really quick simplified history lesson, because a lot of y'all didn't get good history, and it's gonna get worse for your kids because they're sanitizing our history, because American history is taught like a pep rally where America never lost and never did anything bad. Who is on Africa more? Which conference? Starts with a Southern. Guys who were able to manipulate the system. Once those guys got a little bit of freedom, we gotta take it back. We gotta reverse the course. Which conference is embracing and has just as much money? Actually, statistically, they have more money to give. It's the Big Ten. When you go look at the Great Migration, where did they leave? It wasn't just the East Coast. It was more of the Midwest. What does the Big Ten comprise of? Mostly Midwestern schools. Don't be surprised, because they're not going to get rid of the NIL. And they're not going to stop paying athletes money. But watch. Oh, damn, I guess can't nobody. Or maybe it's, I don't know. But watch when I tell you, you're going to start seeing Ohio State become great again. You're going to start seeing Michigan become great again. You're going to start seeing a lot of these schools consistently be good because they provide opportunities where capitalism is truly going to be able to flourish. And be honest with you, do y'all know where the KKK actually originated? In fucking Indiana. And they're going to go to Indiana around the corner from the KKK, because at least I can go make a good living and be able to earn it. No, Tennessee is where it was flourished. I mean, Indiana, oh my bad, Indiana might be where the headquarters is, excuse me. But it's just a lot of shit that just, it's like, Ryan Clark, the fake Ryan Clark statement wasn't wrong. I just don't want to attribute it to Ryan Clark, where I ain't seen Ryan Clark have the balls to stand on something that strong before. I don't want to make it. I don't want him to. And you saw how quick he was to backtrack that shit. I ain't say that shit. But
yeah, thank you for that. I did not see the follow-up tweet. My bad for everybody out there. Thank y'all for correcting me on that. Did not mean to use Ryan Clark as that.
No, I thought he said it too. I think I shared it, but I just happened to see that this morning where Ryan Clark was like, "Hey, I didn't say that," and he makes a really good point. If it was on the Pivot podcast, they would have clipped that, and it would have been shown on the Pivot podcast. Like, we would see we'd hear the audio. Like, AI ain't got that good yet where they can truly put the words in your mouth and make it really see. Like, they're getting better. They're getting close to it, but it ain't that close yet.
Let's dive into some NFL, James. We had a lengthy college football discussion, but we have some updates on the refs, James. So the NFL and the NFL Referees Association have reached a 7-year collective bargaining agreement that will run through the 2032 NFL season. The current deal was scheduled to expire on May 31st. And as part of the new deal with the referees, the NFL is creating a bench/developmental pool of officials that can potentially be called up if active referees are underperforming. Now, James, what do you think about that? About that part of this new deal, creating that developmental pool of officials that can be called up if the active referees are underperforming.
I think that's good. I think they need to have accountability. I think one of the things about referees, and I've seen it at those fights, and I've seen it on the high school level, I've seen it on the prep level, I've seen it on the 707 level. A referee gets challenged and believe that they're just like you're the end all be all. Like, bro, like people make mistakes. Just say, like, when a referee tells me, like, hey, my bad, I fucked up. I'd be like, you know what? I appreciate you at least admitting that you might not have. But this right here gives them a sense of accountability, puts more pressure on them to make the right calls. I think everything needs checks and balances, especially when your job is to create order and maintain order. The only thing that I don't like that I did learn about this, I believe I saw somewhere where you can become a doctor faster than you can become an NFL referee. Like the training and the amount of years of experience you need to have are like crazy. So, but they're smart men. Most of them have other jobs, high paying jobs, high qualified jobs. But I do believe accountability should always be had.
These are the states with the most 2026 draft picks. These are the states with
not.
where the players went to high school at. So we got Texas with 33, Florida with 27, Georgia with 22, California with 19, Ohio 11, Bama 10, Illinois 10, Maryland 10, Missouri 9, and Virginia 9. These are where the 2026 draft picks went to high school at. Texas leading the way, but the big three, Texas, Florida, and Georgia, no surprise on that one right there. But James, yeah, just wanted to share this list with everybody. Texas up there, Georgia up there, but Florida still up there, even though our facilities generally compared to the Texas and Georgia schools, would you say aren't up to par with them? Oh, I can keep going. I think we having some technical difficulty issues right there with the mic. But while we get that situated, yeah, guys, just wanted to share this courtesy of the NFL with you guys. And Texas leads the way, Florida leads the way, Georgia leads the way. There's have been continued conversations, especially within the past 5 to 10 years, on where the best high school football athletes come from. And James,
okay,
we'll take it away from
but
here, especially. Can you guys hear me, James? Hello? Chat. Can the chat hear
this
me
mic
and
is
James?
working. I just can't hear Jaden.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I heard the retalk. I just can't get. We're working on getting Jaden's audio on our side, but
Okay, got you. So
Texas,
they can hear. Okay, got you.
More people, more population, than Florida. Florida continues to prove why we're the best. Even despite dumb shit, but we are the best. We will we put more kids in college, more people in the NFL, and just without adequate facilities. If we would get our shit together, we probably would be way better in terms of, like, we probably would produce exponentially more athletes than all. Real quick, Primo put is mentors for the kids, not mentorship, even though that's what we do provide for the young men and women starting in this year with our women's flag football. Since my goddaughters are getting into flag football, I'm going to make sure that they get coached up right and get opportunity. They're just so damn cute, man. I love my goddaughters. Like, they get whatever the fuck they want to get out of me. I don't like that. I don't like that shit. I feel like I get manipulated, but it's cool. Shit, maybe we got to just plug in with Jaden just to hear him, because they can hear him. We just can't.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Jada,
Hello?
if you can say something, your light's not going off on ours, but I guess they can hear you. Trying
Yeah,
to get
they
it through
can.
YouTube, but it's delayed.
Sorry about that, chat, for the technical difficulties, but yeah, they can hear both of us. That is crazy. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is for sure. That's crazy. But let's keep on going. I forgot
What was
y'all had me on y'all stream on another setup, but we're gonna share this with you guys right here because this is a crazy story coming from Dove Climbing and Company. Let's see right here. Perfect. Got it shared with you guys right here. So, according to Dove Climbing, the Jets have made veteran QB Russell Wilson a contract offer for next season, per the New York Post. They offered me, and I'm trying to figure out what the next best thing is for me to do. I still know I can play ball at a high level, but I also have an opportunity to do TV as well. James, I don't know if you can hear me, but this is what Dove Kleiman reported, courtesy of the New York Post, about veteran QB Russell Wilson possibly becoming that Jets QB.
I need his gel. It's just like I'm looking at him like that's it. Sierra's husband. Sierra's husband has it figured out. No, I think he would be be good on TV. But I think he'll make the he'll make the Jets fucking better immediately. Like so like he just got to figure out what he wants to do. And you know, he's just I think he peaked and there's nothing wrong with that. Like we all have that. And he's still going to be one of the better quarterbacks that I've ever played. He still has a knowledge base. He's got great character. You know he's a plug and play guy. Like he's everything that people thought Tiki Barber was. Tiki Barber's a terrible, like I don't judge people for cheating, right? You can say you were going through marital problems or whatever. This man divorced or left his wife while she was pregnant with twins, I believe, for the younger woman. Like, brother, my brother in Christ, that is not what we do. Like, that is awful. Like, there's been the OGs are mad at the ancestor, the player ancestors are mad at you, dog. Even they're like, you're a piece of shit human for doing that, dog. Like, God, dog. But like, nah, but Sierra's husband, I think, would be really, really good at that. At whatever decision he makes. And if Aaron Rodgers can be mid for this long, why can't Sierra's husband? The only thing he's done is be corny to us. And that's not a crime. And there's nothing wrong with being corny. Corny's good sometimes.
He's pushing 37, but
I mean, if Aaron Rodgers ain't won shit.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers legitimately, can we just call it what Aaron Rodgers called lightning in a bottle and has been riding that Super Bowl that happened a long time ago for like that Super Bowl was before Sierra's husband won one. Really, my bad. It's two things. He's corny and he should have handed the ball off to Beast Mode. We're really more mad that he didn't hand the ball off to Beast Mode and he would have had 2 Super Bowls. That's what I'm more mad at him about. I love the fact that he's not a stepfather. He's a father that stepped up. Love all of that shit about him. Love the fact that he is the answer to a harlot's prayer. Good for you. You're happy. You reaping the benefits of all them years of work and practice that woman did on other guys. Blessings, brother. Blessings. That's your queen. But like outside of that, man, he deserves to be just as mid and average as Aaron Rodgers is.
Shout out to Brees Hall, man. He is the king. He is the winner of our Money Moves segment of the day. Super surprise. The Jets got that chicken for him. The Jets and star running back Brees Hall have a deal extending him long term rather than having him play on a tag. To my surprise, it's a 3-year, $45.75 million deal worth $15.25 million per year, done by Clutch Sports.
Does
Shout
this
out.
make him the highest paid? No.
Let me double check. I still let me double check to see. No, I do not think so. Saquon Barkley still has the highest average average per year with 20.6 million. CMC Christian McCaffrey 19, and then with this Brees Hall has 15.25. So I think he's around third, I believe.
Oh, so why was everybody? I thought the boy from Arizona had the highest.
He had the highest amount of guaranteed money ever with his 54 million, because he's a rookie, and he got the highest amount of money from a running back ever, guaranteed money. Right. Sorry about that. But yes, that's what the big deal was with Jeremiah Love. He got all 54 million guaranteed. Yep. So most in NFL history, not even taking a snap on the field. Crazy stat right there. But he said, funny you mentioned that, James, from one running back to another. Brees Hall, from Brees Hall to Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love actually said he is investing all of his rookie contract since he came from the NIL era. He said he's doing good. He's blessed. So he's putting all that 54 million in investments. So shout out to him. That's a
lie.
That is,
all 50. There's no way. There's just, unless maybe he from a rich family.
That's one of the things I gotta see. Like, I gotta hear him say this for me to believe it. But like, maybe there's some kind of money that he does have that he feels like he can stay with. But like, so everybody has a coach, right? And sometimes your coaches are more talented. I mean, you're more talented than your coaches were. But like, we take a lot of financial advice or a lot of wisdom from people who can't do with what, if they were like that good, they would be the rich ones. Like, I want the financial guy who is, even I know it's insider trading, but the guy who was like, I'm gonna put $930 million on oil futures, and then 5 minutes before we have a press conference, and then makes all this money. I need to be in that group. But like, you only need to take about 10 million and put it into something, and then flourish from that. 53 is a lot. Now, I mean, but maybe he's a simple guy. Primo put the Missouri running back. Yeah, he was shot in the head in Mississippi. They said he's gonna recover, so I hope that happens.
So that's another guy.
Yeah, another guy just got shot. People get shot every day, B.
shout out to Paid in Full, classic movie for sure. Man, James, it looks like one of the NFL's most hated player is on a new squad. Juwan Jennings, former Tennessee wide receiver, former 49ers wide receiver, has reached an agreement with the Minnesota Vikings. He will be joining Kyler Murray on a 1-year deal worth up to $13 million. So Juwan Jennings is going to be a Viking. So just want to update you guys on one of the most disliked players in the league, and going from one to another, James, your favorite number 8, the one who got Mike Tomlin fired, or who influenced him to resign. Let's just say that, because he didn't fire. You can't fire me if I quit. So free agent QB Aaron Rodgers, who is expected to visit the Steelers this past Friday, in this past weekend, will likely play for them in 2026, sources say, according to Ian Rappaport. A deal is not done, and there's always caution until things are signed, but Rodgers' plans is to play for Pittsburgh, and these are steps towards that end, James. The 42-year-old, your favorite quarterback, just joking, but the 42-year-old is looking to continue his career.
Just needed him to go to Minnesota to complete the Brett Favre trajectory. I mean, like this man, you talk about all he has to do is send a dick pic to a random FSU sports reporter and steal money from kids in Mississippi, and he would be exactly who he hated. He's on that. It's not above him now. It is not above him when you listen to how he talks. But like, it's so funny how much he hated how he was treated by Brett Favre to become Brett Favre. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it.
Former Patriots wide receiver and free agent, might I add, James, Stephon Diggs was found not guilty in the chef attack. Now, the clips from the courtroom were crazy. I know you probably seen the video of her dancing in the room when it's just a whole crazy situation, man. But Stephon Diggs, more importantly, is a free agent, James, and it actually comes out that he has been found not guilty with the chef attack incident and case. So what team, James, do you think will take a stab at Stephon Diggs at wide receiver, if any?
It looked like he's got back with Cardi B, so he might not be a free agent. Like, she was at the Mother's Day thing. Like, your husband cheat on you. No. That is the final straw. I will not take this. But your boyfriend cheating on you, getting 5 women pregnant at the same time, like that's cool. That's that, But he did okay. He did pretty good. He got comeback player of the year last year, right? Which was wild. He still has it in him, but like, you have to ask, is the circus worth him bringing him in? And it's like, it's going to disrupt locker rooms. Like, you got to watch your girl, you got to watch your boy, you got to watch. Like, he's indiscriminate where he slangs pipe. He still has the one lawsuit with the dude that's still out there. Like, this man's being sued by men and women, but this one wasn't a lawsuit. Like, I am happy for him because this was criminal. That chick brought it to. And it's a perfect example of listen to all women, trust all facts. Because this doesn't change the fact that he's not a good person, but it does change the fact that he did almost, like, he had to spend money to prove his innocence from something that's clearly a vindictive asshole. And that's not right. And personally, I think that it's a couple ways to change this. Well, she didn't go for penalties, but like, if it comes out that it's egregious, the person who was prosecuted that got off should be able to refile charges to the person, because that's assault. Assault has nothing to do with physical. Assault can be verbal. Battery is physical, but she assaulted that man's character. And like, I should be able to have compensation for that. And I want her to go through what I just went through. And you have all of the data. You have all the details that she lied. But that won't happen. Because the same misogyny that women hate is the same misogyny that protects women, that makes us believe everything and to believe that, maybe she was emotionally unstable by something that happened, as opposed to that she's an equal human that just is an equally shitty person, which aggravates me to no end. Because the only way to defend yourself in that situation is to essentially, which gaslighting to people who are guilty feels like gaslighting when it's really just stating the facts of what actually happened. But whatever. I'm glad he's off. I don't care, but I don't wish jail on anybody. But I do know he had to look at that ass one time when she walked by though. It was crazy. Like, the videos from that court case are just like, that judge should feel like his life was wasted.
We have the first Sunday night football matchup for this season, James, and it's an NFC East showdown between the Cowboys and the Giants. This is going to be on NBC, and this, like I said earlier, is the first Sunday night football matchup for the 2026 season. The rest of the schedules will come out on May 14th, so we're going to take a look at the Jags schedule in full, in totality on Friday's show, and then we're gonna break that down for you guys. But this is the first Sunday night game this year, so make sure to keep that in mind. So yeah, just wanted to share this with everybody before we look at some ages right quick. So these are the average NFL roster ages this season. And so you see right here, you have the youngest with the Miami Dolphins with an average age of 25.18. And then the Commanders at the bottom of this list with the average age of 26.79. The Jaguars, number 12 on this list. However, some other notable teams in the mix as well. The Chiefs, Titans, and Browns, pretty young as well. But just wanted to share this with you guys just so you can get a gauge on the age of your favorite squads out there. So just wanted to share this with you guys before we get into the big games BS section. We have some good ones for you guys today. First things first, I want to know if we got any Cinnabon fans in the chat, or do we have?
I did go to the mall. Shit, I should have told you to bring me one. Those things are delicious.
Yeah, those shits are good.
Or if we have any Harry Potter fans in
Also.
the chat as well, because we have a collab, man. If you are a real Harry Potter fan, you know about butter beer at the Harry Potter World in Universal. And so Cinnabon announces a limited edition Harry Potter butterbeer flavored treats from May 4th to May 17th. Participating locations only while supplies last. Let me just make sure. My bad, guys. The screen wasn't shared. Gonna redo it for you guys. But let's take a look at some of these items that Cinnabon is sharing with the world for our BS or Bussin' food review segment. So, courtesy of Ribs on TikTok, they let us know about this post right here. So, you actually have in this post the golden gooey and pure magic. So you got the butterbeer pack of Cinnabon rolls right there. You even have a butterbeer. It looks like frozen drink as well. James, have you ever had butterbeer, and would you give this a BS or bussin' for the butterbeer infused Cinnabon rolls?
I probably would eat it. I've drank, but I've been to Harry Potter World. I don't like Harry Potter, but I've been there, and I had butterbeer. It's actually, I've found something on Facebook. There's like this thing's like tasting history. This guy who goes around and he tries ancient dishes or stuff like that from era, and he has a butterbeer recipe. Which I didn't know butterbeer was actually drank back in the 16th century. So, but you know, I'm not opposed. I do like the traditional Cinnabon. Pizza Hut actually has. I don't pay for it. I have enough Pizza Hut points because the boys eat pizza every Friday night. A couple times I've just went and just got me they got the little Cinnamonnies, and just go there and just try them a little bit, and it's pretty damn good. But a good old Atlanta, when I'm going through Charlotte Airport, there's a Cinnabon right under the USO. And you just go there. The first thing I do when I'm going to get my little change, I go right there, give me my Cinnabon, ma'am, and then give me my extra frosting. And then I'm gonna go walk to my next, because I know when I'm traveling in the airport, anytime I fly, I'm traveling. That's a 4 or 5 mile day of walking with my steps. So I've earned the Cinnabon. Like now, if just normal day, hey, I can't do that. That's gonna make my A1C. My A1C is not gonna I'm not gonna be able to burn that sugar off like that. But that's when I do try to get my stuff in.
I'm sorry to always pivot this back onto sports, James, but you mentioned the Carolina Panthers, and I wanted to ask, did you see Devin Lloyd's new number with the Panthers?
Nah.
So I don't know if he's losing oral points in your mind because he wore 0 with the Jags this past season, but he's wearing 55 for the Panthers.
He trying to act like a real linebacker now. He acting different. I don't like this, dog. Like, it's like when you see, I don't want to see him glow up. Like he done, got a new person, and like now they acting different. Like, nah, man, you go back to be like who you was, man. But nah, that 55 is an iconic linebacker number. So, I think he should have stayed with 0 though. 0 was like his number, but hey, good for you. Flourish, King. We didn't treat you right here. So you went to Carolina. You did like everybody in the South. It's Houston, Atlanta, or Charlotte. They have to move to go find a name for themselves. Hate it.
Hate seeing Devin Lloyd go for sure. And the Spurs hated seeing Victor Wembanyama go last night after he gave Nas Reed a WWE-styled elbow in the playoffs after Victor Wembanyama faced a flagrant 2 and was ejected from the game. The Minnesota Timberwolves actually won this game, but Spurs definitely could have done it, and they didn't have Wemby. So let's take a look at Wemby, the YN Wyland segment winner of the day. But most importantly, his teammate, Dylan Harper, with the reaction of the year. Dylan Harper, James, making y'all feel old, son of Ron Harper, Bulls legend. So, yes, he was a number 2 pick in the draft last year, played at Rutgers. Great player, but let's take a look at Wemby and company.
Right in the throat. Look at the rotation.
He lines it up.
Like he took a step and love it. I love it. I love it. Like somebody, he was going for something. The point of the elbow went right into, like, luckily it caught him where the vein is and it didn't catch him in the Adam's apple. Because like he could have really hurt him. Like, it's amazing. I told my son the safest place to fight is on the field. And it's amazing the things that you can get away with. If you do that in the real world, you're going to jail. Yeah, you're going to jail, right? It's just like the kid, there was a fight that happened on the football field in high school up here. I think it was Yulee Fernandina Beach, like a JV game or a middle school game or whatever. The kid from Fernandina Beach, it was Bell High School versus Fernandina Beach, excuse me. The kid from Bell took his helmet off and literally, he took the kid's helmet and swung it at him and caught him in the head. That kid got 30 days in jail to be served on weekends.
Damn. What?
Had he done that outside of the football field, that man's getting all kinds of charges thrown at him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's wow. Another YN moment that was Jacksonville based. I actually know the coach for West Nassau baseball. He was a big Sports Den fan. I actually went out there and gave them MFTK bracelets and all kinds of stuff. Like, they were just saying that. Well, that crew of kids is gone. They went nationwide or national. Barstool picked it up. 10 seniors skipped the playoff game because of prom. So they got their ass whooped in the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
because 10 seniors said that they rather go dress up and go get the same pussy that they got earlier that week on prom night. When you could have gotten it after the game, you could have just went after the game if you were a real one. But like, I don't know what's going on in this world, man. Like, if Trey ever told me that, I don't know how I would respond to him. Like, dude, if you don't get your ass out there and play that goddamn game, but because you'll never, like, the problem is, it ain't like they doing no dancing no more. It's not the same as it used to be. But, like, you know, you'll never be able to get that game back. And you took away from, like, some of your teammates, dog. I just, like, just some of the stuff. But the fighting, though, the elbow, excuse me, it wasn't no fight. The fact that he just took that lets me know that maybe that he didn't want to see that reach that Wemby got too, because Wemby probably got them what was it? What was the dude from Street Fighter?
Dalcine.
Yeah, he got them arms, and Wemby African, right?
He's French, but I don't know where his dad is from. His dad's black.
Like he French Guyana or something like
Yeah.
like something like he ain't just we like he one of them, just like my man the Greek. Well, no, like the Greek freak ain't really Greek.
He's Greco-Nigerian. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Greek the Greek freak is Greco-Nigerian. I'm gonna look at actually where Wemby's dad is from. He's Congolese. So his dad's Congolese.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
His father was a decent former track and field athlete.
That's
Yep.
a basketball player.
Breeding.
Yeah.
See, breeding makes sense.
Yep. But that will round out all I had, James. We finished off with the 2 YN Wyland segments, one from Victor Wembanyama and one from close to where we stay, West Nassau School. So any last words to say to everybody in the chat as we close out this show and bring in the week?
Nah, man, appreciate everybody for the support. Make sure you guys jam the like button, like and subscribe, share this off to other people, consider being a member. Football season is around the corner from us, so life will be picking up. Outside of that, appreciate everybody for chopping it up with me. We will see you guys next time.